I see no copyright. It's good.
What do you do with this thing?
I see no copyright.
Wait, they're supposed to take me seriously as a psychology specialist, and this is my intro. Right, good. So I've established authority.
Holy shit! Yeah, we might have to redo that and pretend like no one saw that. But let's get this chat popped out. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tentacle Croissant. I am here with my psychology specialist friend.
I'm a very sensible gentleman that knows everything that's useful to know about psychology.
Fucking hell. And today we're going to be talking about a very serious subject in a very academic and professional manner regarding a beauty influencer by the name of Jeffree, Mr. Star. He is very, if anything, he would be the biggest YouTuber. I'm surprised that you don't really know much about him, man.
I know nothing. When you said the name Jeffree Star, I had no idea. I've just seen his picture in the thumbnail, and I was thinking he doesn't look like what I would, as an Englishman, think of the name Jeffree. That wasn't the image that was conjured, but now I have seen him, and I will endeavor to. I know nothing about the backstory here. Yeah. I know there's been YouTube drama. I will simply be looking at the video and speaking purely from the perspective of somebody who has some understanding of cluster B spectrum disorders like narcissism and psychopathy.
Yes, and I'm sure everybody here, especially in the first 2 minutes, already knows who the hell you are and who the hell I am. But for the people that will discover this later or coming in after, go ahead, lay out your resume and credentials, my friend.
My background was in psychology, and I was working as a cognitive behavioral counselor for the probation service when I was younger. Then I moved into the British education system, and then I sacked it all off for about 10 years to go and be a nightclub bouncer because I'm a sensible individual like that. Came back to it, and in 2013, so for the last 7 years, I've been trying my best to penetrate the realms of narcissism and psychopathy and cluster B personality disorders.
What better place to find narcissism than YouTube itself? So this guy, to give a really brief backstory, if anything, if you guys can even bring up some direct examples in 1 or 2 sentences within the chat, I can highlight it as well. I have done a video on Jeffree Star before. It allows me to tap into my savagery quite a bit because he's one of, oh my God. Anyways, so right now, everybody's digging up the past receipts of Jeffree Star, kind of encouraging this cancellation notion. That's not exactly what I push, but I do look at certain things and try to level it out in the court of the digital world. He said some pretty racist stuff in the past. It's not just implied racism. It's stuff that isn't exactly people are reaching for. He's overtly said, maybe she should throw bleach on her to make her skin lighter, like really over stuff like that.
What was the context? Was that an online war or?
It was he was supposed to be doing some comedy skit with some other dude on a chat, and then he was saying stuff along the lines of that. What else has he done? He has overtly hung out or played in a band with basically a convicted sexual predator for younger women, Dobby Vanity. And once that news even broke, he continued working with him and defending him and promoting his stuff.
Okay.
That's another situation as well.
Okay.
He has had multiple run-ins with people, and people have reported that he's extremely manipulative and uses his power for other things. He created a brand called Lipstick Nazi. And so this is kind of a bit disregarded for Native peoples. There's a lot more with it. He even said some pretty racist things until 2 years ago. It's not stuff that just hints at things as well. Did you guys have any other direct examples? I would show Richard some videos that summarizes, but every video, including myself, goes over 15 to 20 minutes in terms of the explanations of what he's done. Okay. So if anybody else can come out with a few more examples. Oh, and of course, the latest drama. This is a headache of a thing to explain, but there are 2 other beauty influencers, older woman named Tati, and then a really young gentleman by the name of James Charles, up and coming makeup artist. And they basically threw a really big smear campaign to say James is a predator. I was going to say predator because of the monetization, but fuck it, I'll say predator.
Okay.
And Jeffree was been threatening, like, I'm going to release all the text. I'm going to release all the voice notes. I'm going to release all that. And he never ended up doing it. And right before, every time he's about to do it, he threatened it again. He just pulls back and says, nah, never mind.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, falsely accused James Charles. And James Charles ended up nearing some suicidal attempts from the situation.
Who's James Charles?
He's a very, very big makeup artist. Jeffree's main competitor, basically.
Okay.
19-year-old kid.
19-year-old kid. Okay.
19. He's 19.
How old is Jeffree?
How old is Jeffree, guys? 30-something.
Okay. So he's pretty cruel, pretty reaction-seeking, abrasive.
Yeah, he's known to start drama. Like, no matter what the situation is, he oftentimes comes out, insults whoever, does whatever, then disappears, comes back over and over and over again.
I don't want to pre-guess what's in the video. This is sounding an awful lot more like psychopathy, antisocial personality disorder than straight narcissism. These sounds like pretty aggressive power plays.
Yeah, if I could show you actual explanation, or let's just say commentary on what he's done, it would definitely clarify a few things, but I didn't want you to have too much of a
poisons the well, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So it's good that you're coming in here fairly fresh. He's about 34 years old.
Okay.
He released a bunch of videos of some of his past flips, sexual partners.
Okay.
And on revenge porn websites.
Oh.
Yeah.
He put out sex videos of people, or
not
nudes and stuff.
There was a guy that he was messing with, and he was like really, really, really wasted, throwing up in the toilet, and he was kind of filming him, making fun of him, then like kind of released that on the revenge porn website. He actually posted a few different people on that site as well. Lots of stuff along that nature. Some glorification of self-harm in past photographs. Him laying there with like razor blades, stuff like that. But yeah, like everybody's putting a lot of pressure on him to like apologize or whatever, and do that type of thing.
So he's being hounded into some sort of an apology.
Right. So that's like another whole separate issue as well. But maybe I can, if I do Google Chrome, StreamYard. This is StreamYard, Mozilla Fire. Give me a second, guys. I'm just gonna try to figure this out real quick. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! I should have done this before. Give me a second. Give me a second, my friends. But so you don't know anything about him in the moment.
No, I don't. But like what you're saying, if you see like a lot of very boundary infringing behavior, showing a disdain for the consequences of your actions, showing a disdain for whether people are suffering because of your actions, this would definitely fall in line with more antisocial personality disorder, especially where those boundary transgressions are toying with being criminal. So if there's actually the possibility of some sort of criminal intent, then you would be looking. It's called antisocial personality disorder, ASPD. Everybody would understand it just as psychopathy. But that is the picture that's forming based on what you've told me so far.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and try to guess from your facial expressions. And if you want to say something, put your finger up. But anything you say, make sure you lean into the mic a bit more.
Yes, sir.
So then we can do what we need to do.
Okey-dokey.
Just give me 1 second here. Oh, here it is again. There it is. All right. There we go. Okay. So first glance, any initial impressions of the frame?
This is somebody who cares very, very much about the. This is somebody who obviously cares very, very much about the impact that he's having on people at the perceptual level. So I can see why narcissism would be something that would be conjectured, because there's a tremendous amount of image control and vanity there. I am not seeing from this particular look a desire to be beautiful as much as powerful. So even the hyperlinks towards beauty here are secondary to power. I think this is somebody who is trying to inspire fear in people because he looks scary. He looks like a scary guy.
Yeah, I mean, I took a more comedic route with my reaction, but I felt like this looked like a green screen. Like he looks almost like copied and pasted on the background.
Actually,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But okay, here we go. Maybe we can go this route so we can see your face a little better. But I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up a bit because it's quite long.
Okay.
So 10 minutes. Let's go for it. Let me see if the audio is coming through. I'll just turn it up a bit.
Now, I've been silent for a very long time. I know that's very rare for me. I've taken a lot of time to do a lot of self-reflection. Now, in the past, I've been very guilty of speaking out of anger, out of frustration, out of my emotions. I'm so quick to grab my phone and just say whatever's on my mind in that moment without ever really thinking the ramifications of my words, my actions, and for the first time in a very long time, I'm really reflecting on my behavior and mine alone. And I've come to a lot of realizations, and it's been really important to actually understand everything that I was a part of, that I did wrong, and really start a new chapter for myself. I've spent a lot of time realizing why I do certain things and why I do the things that I do. And
yeah, before you go, Richard, can you guys hear the actual audio here? You said it was echoing, but in the meantime, go ahead and say what you can say.
So when somebody is apologizing and they're saying, I'm going to do the right thing and I'm going to apologize and I'm going to take responsibility for my part in this. You can listen to the content of the words that are being said, but obviously communication is more than that. It's also tone of voice and stance. I'm not a body language expert, not a meta communication expert, but this movement is defiance.
Yeah.
And this movement is no.
Yeah, I watched a few body language analyses, and that was caught multiple times. This gesture right here during the thing.
This is not conciliatory, and it is not humble. An apology is an acknowledgement of a wrongdoing, which is conciliatory and humble. And this feels more like a military statement, of that a military leader would give up until now.
Cool.
There are no excuses. A year ago, I did a video called Never Doing This Again, and I meant that. And 2020 has been really, really crazy, and I have added to the chaos. When I filmed my video called Never Doing It Again, I meant every word in the video. Did I slip up? Am I human? Have I done some fucked up things? Of course I have. But at the end of the day, today, once again, I will not be exposing anyone. For everyone saying Jeffree's going to be coming with the receipts and we all need to get ready to forgive, that is the opposite of who I am. I know I'm dramatic.
Can you stop it again? The speed with which, so as you're talking, there's the content of what's being said, there's the context, the way it's delivered. When an apology is delivered with preemptions to potential future attacks very early on, it doesn't do much to assist with that sort of the humility element of it. So if you say, listen, I'm going to say that I'm sorry, but first of all, you're already preempting the potential counters to what you're saying. I'm not obviously reflecting on the personality now. I'm just saying that the content of the apology is a bit fucked up. That's not how you start an apology. You don't start an apology with already preempting a potential counterattack. This doesn't look like or sound like an apology at this point. This sounds like a tactical movement, and actually it's probably a statement of intent masquerading as an apology.
Right.
That's a purely narcissistic tactic. That's standard textbook narcissism.
So to summarize, what you're saying is that before then, he's just laying out all the things that people could attack him for, but he's just trying to no, you're not. I'm not allowing you to attack me for that.
It's steel manning his argument. It's preemptively steel manning his point of view. That's not an apology. You have to take feedback from people. You have to be able to say, okay, this is what I did. It was wrong and I'm sorry. It's not, this is what I did and let me tell you why I did it. This is what I did and let me tell you why. I'm acknowledging that it's wrong, but let me tell you why it was okay. That's what it's confusing to the recipient.
All right. So yeah, I got a few comments saying that he's talking a bit fast. It's just I'm playing it at a faster pace, but I will slow it down at normal pace so we can get a more accurate read of what's happening here.
crazy at times, I'm outspoken, but at the end of the day, that is not who I am. And today I will not be sitting here showing a million text messages and all these things that allegedly—
Sorry to stop you again.
That
I'm crazy at times, I'm outspoken, and that is not who I am. I did the thing, I do the thing, but I don't do the thing. Like, there was a couple of people who were caught. Unfortunately, there's racial overtones to this particular example. I say unfortunately, given the historical context we're in right now. There was you probably heard about this, where a group of white people approached a party where there was black children having a birthday party with shotguns.
Okay.
This is I think 2 years ago, and they were arrested for it, rightly so, for behaving in a threatening manner. And one of the women who was arrested in court said, "I would never do that. I would never do." It's like, you've already done the thing,
right?
And the justification is, that's not me. I would never do that. It's a disavowal of the facts. It's a disavowal of the history of what's actually happened. So again, it's neither narcissism or psychopathy. It's just a highly manipulative tactic that I just wanted to point out.
Yeah, I said a very similar thing in a very crude way, but it looks like we're pointing out the same thing. I said he does all these things, but he says that's not who he is. How are you going to do all those things and say that's not who you are? You just did all those things.
I mean, and if you took that to its logical conclusion, where would it stop? If you committed crimes and you kept doing awful things to people and hurting them, and your excuse for it was, that's not me, I don't mean that. Where on the timeline do you actually have to take responsibility and stop? Or does that just become an infinite open loop?
Yeah.
You do whatever the hell you want and then just go, that's not me.
You're only you when you do good things.
Right.
If you do bad things, it's not you.
That wasn't me.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
That's not it. I will not be entertaining it. My lawyers are entertaining it behind the scenes, but I will not be. I know this may sound shocking coming from my mouth, but when you accept that you are the problem, you can become the solution. And I've definitely put myself in the victim mentality before, when I knew I was wrong, and maybe I didn't want to admit it, I wasn't ready to, and I was too insecure. But today, there are no excuses. I'm someone that has impulse control, and I'm fully admitting my flaws, and I hope that people can learn from me. I have moments where I get fired up. I don't think things through. I don't think about how my actions will affect others.
Okay, if we stop again.
If you want to pause it, just hit the space next time.
Cool. It's further steel manning of the argument, which is he's implying that which has been the wrongdoing, which I don't fully know exactly what the wrongdoing was, he's not apologizing. He's not avoiding responsibility for, but then he segues immediately into, sometimes I get fired up and sometimes I do things impulsively. Well, that's an appeal to the audience, to the jury, to say, don't we all? I mean, we are all human, are we not? We do all occasionally try to drive, young influencers to suicide or whatever it was that he was trying to do. Because I'm impulsive and I get fired up. Oh, so the terrible criminal thing you did, well, I'll use the suicide one as an example, that's an impulse control issue. That's because sometimes you get fired up. The idea is that the audience is supposed to go, yeah, we all get fired up. We all have bad days. We don't all try and drive young people to suicide. So he's trying to draw a false equivalence between a common human error and his actual criminal behavior.
Ooh, nice.
And when you speak from your emotions without fully processing something, it is one of the most unhealthy things. And that is a very major problem of mine. A lot of people want me to address this situation. And a lot of people were putting a time stamp
Okay, so there's no crime here. There's no wrongdoing here. There's only, air quotes, a situation. This is out the textbook of somebody who cheats.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fact that you had sex with somebody else? Yes, we can talk about
entanglement.
The entanglement, the happening, the infucking, or whatever you want. Like, it's a reframe so that it's not as bad. It's just some sort of drama. There's no ownership there in calling it the situation and doing passive aggressive weird finger air quotes.
So the situation that he's explaining is when he threatened to release these text messages that proves that 19-year-old makeup influencer is a predator, but he never actually ended up doing it. And then the James, the 19-year-old, was showing all of his past texts of how he was falsely accused. And he's still threatening James, but he never actually releases anything.
So he's threatening to release something that presumably he doesn't have.
Yes, because every time he's come this close to releasing it, he doesn't do it.
So he's teasing it. People have done this to me online. They say we have evidence of terrible things that have been done. And then they spent 2 years saying we're releasing it tomorrow, we're releasing it next week. And of course, there was no evidence. And so they never released it. So there's an effort here to sort of gas cloud the whole issue. What has he actually done? He's besmirched another human being's reputation with deliberate malicious intent. If he actually acknowledges that in the next 8 minutes, I will eat my hat with no salt.
Take the lemon instead. Cool.
You need to speak on this right now. And I think that we live in a world where people are just so used to doing what people want right away. And that's not good either. I think it's
philosophizing, Your Honor. This is more of an effort to gas cloud the issue by stating trite aphorisms, truisms. We live in a world where it's like whatever we're going to say next is probably not going to be all that insightful. This is a bland, an aphorism is where you say something that seems to have philosophical depth, but there's just nothing to it. And it will be very hard to disagree with. We live in a world where people seem to do what they want. Well, who can disagree with that? When you're doing sales, they call these things yes sets. So if I can get you into 5 yes sets and then I try and sell you the car on the 6th yes, you're more likely to buy the car. So this is a yes set that he's engaging in with trite aphorisms.
Interesting. Okay. Looks like it froze on the screen. I'm going to reopen it again. Oh, here it is. All right.
very important to stay off of social media. I haven't been on in weeks. I haven't read anything. I haven't clicked a video. I haven't seen anything. And it's been really about finding myself again and remembering why I'm here and how my actions can affect other people and everyone around me. I know there's a lot of people waiting for me to address this situation. Now, I didn't try to take anyone down. I'm not a villain in a movie. This isn't a Netflix series with a crazy storyline. I know it sounds like it, and trust me, I'm sure I'd watch it as well, but this is my real life, and a lot of things that are happening and being said are false.
So the demeanor here is smug, it's trite, and it's patronizing. Even this somewhat camp gesture, and he's leaving his mouth open a lot of the time. The lips are not closing and the jaw isn't closing. This is pure arrogance. It's pure arrogance. I'm aware that what I've done is da-da-da, and he's really pulling out all the stops. He's trying to look calm, but he's actually working very, very hard to completely dominate the narrative. There is one way he wants the listener to interpret what he's saying. This is not an apology.
Tries to take someone else down or their career and it doesn't work, you can't just take a few more down with you. That's not how life works. We have to all take accountability for our own actions and no one else's. And that's what I will continue to do. And if I
feel like I'm being given wisdom from a 14-year-old. We all have to take accountability for our actions. No, Jeffree, it's time to talk about you. What did you do? He's talking vaguely with pseudo-philosophical overtones about something that somebody might have done to affect somebody's reputation. He's not talking about what he personally did to another human being because he wants to do everything he can to avoid that responsibility.
Don't, please fucking remind me. Now, I know that I've had a very hard time doing that in the past, and that will not be happening again. Now, did I mix myself up in drama? Did I speak on things I shouldn't have speak on? Of course I did.
Again, I'm not a body language expert, but he just floated very, very close to actually apologizing, and he physically shrugged away from it. It was so painful to actually almost admit blame that his left shoulder moved back like he's Floyd Mayweather trying to touch him right.
Should we pull it up real quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch his left shoulder.
drama? Did I speak on things I shouldn't have speak on?
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a little reflex right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll even slow that down a little bit here.
Shouldn't have speak on?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he's actually, his whole body is rebelling against taking the responsibility that he should be taking. So as he approaches the thorny issue of going, I fucked up, I genuinely did something wrong, he's trying to pull back away from it. And very quickly he comes in with, did I do something wrong? Did I speak on something I shouldn't have spoken on? Yes, I did. But I can guarantee the next thing he's going to do is he's going to say, but we all do that from time to time. Is that
wow?
Do you think he's going to say that next? Let's see if he says that next.
And I think you're the first one out of all the reactions to this video that brought up that shoulder shrug. I didn't even notice that the first time, but yeah, I've never seen.
Very, very uncomfortable, and he's very keen straight off the shoulder shrug roll back to get back in with a counterattack, which is but we all do this.
I think we should watch that one more time. But that might have been
go back a little bit further. Yeah,
that might have been the most vulnerable he's been throughout the entire video. Actually,
Absolutely.
That's a really, really good detail. I didn't notice that the first time around. I'll even slow it down even further here.
This fucking reminded me. Now I know that I've had a very hard time doing that in the past, and that will not be happening again.
There,
now,
you did it again.
Did I mix myself up in drama? Did I speak on things I shouldn't have speak on?
There it is.
Of course I did. Did I believe certain?
So at that point, he loses control. He lets down the controlling factor of how to control his behaviors there, right?
And he said, "I will not be doing it again." And he shut his eyes. He went, "I will not be doing it again." He hates that. He's physically, it's in his body. He's like, "Fuck, I have to say this," because he's taking his cue from some paper that's on his bottom left of the screen, and it's pre-written. And he's like, okay, I have to say this. I will not be doing that again. I wonder if he has any intention of not doing it again. He literally squeezed his eyes shut like a child.
Yeah. Wow. That's good eye, man. Is it normal? Okay.
Instead of asking the source, did I get caught up in the hype? Did I do dumb shit? And did I not just simply call James Charles and ask questions myself? 100%. And that is my fault. I would like to personally apologize to James Charles for the words that I've said and for my actions. If I was really close with someone, I should have had the ability to just simply call them and ask and say, hey, these were the things that were being said to me. Instead, I didn't. I let people really gas me up, get me going behind the scenes, and I really fell for a lot of things and I got caught up in the hype. It's disgusting, it's awful, and none of it should have happened. So, James, I am truly sorry for my actions and my behavior. 2020 has...
The question I would ask anybody under circumstances like this, like if you ever had anybody try and lie to you or lie their way out of something that they've done wrong, is do they sound like they're sad? Because an apology means I fucked up. I've disappointed myself. Yes, I'm in trouble with you. Yes, I'm in trouble with the internet, but I've done something that goes against my values. So I'm sad. That didn't sound sad to me at all. That sounded, again, like blame shifting. We got an apology, then we got a blame shift. Did I get gassed up by other people? Yes, I did. As do we all, right? And then we get this other effort and apology. When he says the apology, it sounds like his tongue is swelling up in his mouth. And he sounds like he had marbles in his mouth. I just want to say that I am sorry. And it was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, he did blame all of his so-called friends there. He said that I got gassed up and that's why I did it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't his fault.
It's not his fault because that's not him.
Interesting.
Very tumultuous for a lot of us. It has been a very crazy year. And I think that James and myself and anyone involved would agree with me that there are way bigger issues happening on this planet. I know that some people may, Jeffree, you're just saying this as a distraction. Jeffree, no.
Wait, watch.
Reality is here. And makeup, drama, and beauty, community, gossip, and tea, it may be entertainment for you, And it used to be for me, but it's my life and it's their lives. And right now, outside of our walls, our world is falling apart. And it's truly shocking. So I'm not going to give you an expose of the beauty community. I'm not going to end anyone today. I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I've never committed a crime before, and I've never been to jail. It's been hard to process a lot of what is being said, but involving this situation, I would just like to say that James Charles, I'm very sorry. Anything else that you guys want to know, it will never be spoken about. You can ask other people. I, just like last year, have fully removed myself. And did I get swept up into the bullshit again? Of course I did. And for that, I'm forever embarrassed of. Now, Breonna Taylor still has no justice. Black trans women are being murdered every day and the news is silent. Elijah McClain has no justice. And the countless other people who are murdered every single day while everyone just goes about their business like nothing's happening.
Where to begin with that? All right. I'll tell you something. That now I'm gonna call dark triad. So dark triad is extremely rare, but this is looking like narcissism, psychopathy, and borderline. The reason I'm saying borderline is because I just witnessed a huge effort to knock the audience off balance emotionally. It's a standard borderline tactic. So he raised multiple controversial global issues that any audience member would feel like a surge of adrenaline for, simply to distract. He said, I know people say, Jeffree, this is a distraction. I would say that, yes, Jeffree, you are definitely trying to distract people. If I were there in the room, I would say, hey, dude, would you just tell people what it is that you think you did wrong? Because I haven't heard it from him yet. All I've heard is the situation when people attack other people's reputation. I've not heard what he actually thinks he's done wrong here.
Mm-hmm. I lost my mind when he first said Breonna Taylor and Black trans lives, because there is an irony of it, because this video is also supposed to address his somewhat racially charged past. And he happens to use this issue in this video to try to clear his name.
Oh, no, he knows his balls were hanging down to the floor when he used that. He knows he's being completely audacious because he's being accused of being racist. And then he's trying to virtue signal behind Black trans. I mean, it's an outrageous stance to take, and a dangerous one, which is why I would say I think this is dark triad. I don't know why he brought up crimes. I don't know why he brought up never being arrested. Other than that, he knows perfectly well that he's a fucking criminal.
I think he's been arrested too, which is like a blatant lie.
I would be amazed if this gentleman has never been arrested in his life. I mean, he's jumping out of his skin doing this. Look at his jaw position right now. It's frozen on the screen. It's so uncomfortable for him to do this, and it's coming out through his shoulders, his neck, and his mouth.
Yeah, he also turned off the comments here and the dislike bar after the first few hours of it.
Sure he did.
All right.
Cheeky bastard.
And I think that drama and the beauty world, which I have definitely been a part of, it all has to stop. Now, 6 months ago, before COVID and everything hit our world, it was such a different place for all of us. And including myself, it's really time to reflect on the big picture. Now, Shane Dawson, he is one of my best friends and someone who helped
bring some context to the situation. You know Shane Dawson.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that he's kind of a pedo. Tons of footage of him has come out with his past skits overtly flirting with really underage girls, telling them to eat like a sausage because like it's funny that it like he has jokingly child molesters watching. He's been on video chat websites like Omegle, where you randomly they come across a young like 13-year-old girl and they start telling her to twerk on camera. And he said on actual podcasts that like he found like this young girl kind of sexy and like did not come off jokingly in any way. So anyways, he's obviously really good friends with Shane still. Okay. And they made an 8-part documentary, 2 hours each, and where he basically tries to make Shane feel better by creating a makeup palette for him to make him millions of dollars. So
wow. This is a weird world, a very weird world.
So that's the context when he mentions Shane Dawson.
Okay.
And do you have anything to say to that, or do you want to finish?
Birds of a feather flock together. I mean, I'm sure that they are friends if Shane Dawson is also engaging in criminal behavior, because it's a lonely world for psychopaths. You know, you've got to find other psychopaths to connect with. But I mean, who else are you going to talk to about that stuff?
Yeah. Turns out she was 6, one of the girls. Yeah.
I thought Shane Dawson is kind of like a light-voiced, sort of a hi guys. That guy.
He very, very sensitive, soft person.
Right.
You look at videos of him 10 years ago. Yeah. He's like really aggressive, and he's very, very anti-PC. Like really. Then the soft Shane came out just a few years ago, and then now all this past stuff is like kind of destroying people's illusion of that they had of him, which is a soft, sensitive, caring person. But actually, lots of videos of him in the past have been really like, yo, he actually just said that, like, and he's really aggressive. He did this like amateur film and started like saying how inexperienced, and I'm giving him a job, he should be grateful for it type of attitude, like diva status. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But people have invited me to look at Shane Dawson videos in the past. I can't stand more than 30 seconds of him. I find him unbearable.
Yeah. All right. Let's see the rest of this thing here.
Remember who I am when I was starting to crack and lose focus of who I really was. He is genuine, amazing, he is selfless, and he is one of the most kind people that I've ever met in my entire world. I know that Shane would put his family and friends before himself in a flash. Now, did Shane and I get caught up in the drama and do some dumb shit? Of course we did. But that is my best friend, and I was actually truly shocked that people thought that I was going to distance myself from him or that my silence was anything but support. I know Shane from now. I don't know Shane from 10 years ago, and he doesn't know me from 10 years ago. Now, do I agree with Shane's past actions? Of course I don't. And does he agree with my past behavior? Of course he doesn't. I know the amazing person that he is today, and you don't abandon your friends. I know a lot of people have said, Jeffree, you've had a lot of
not as anybody who understands psychology, just as a human being, that was creepy as fuck. That was this is a creepy fucking guy talking about another creepy individual.
Why do you say that was creepy?
My soul just tells me there's something really fucked up there. He's doing, in terms of the psychology and the content, he's looping again. He's saying, did we do something that was crazy? That of course we did. What do you mean? Of course you did. You know, you've committed you've hurt people. You've caused people pain. It's not like, oh, I got out of bed, felt grumpy and didn't say hi to the bus driver. It's like you've actively over time sought to damage somebody's reputation, or you've actively over time sought to cause somebody emotional distress, which is what my understanding of this is. So again, that's not part of the apology, but there's something between this entity and the entity he's talking about that's dark as fuck. That creeped me the fuck out, what he just said. Why did he need to, if he's apologizing for something that he's done, why does he need to state his affiliation for somebody else? You would only do that if you're under pressure. You'd only do that if you were fearful. So that creeped me out, because that makes me think, okay, there might be some dark, unpleasant bond between those two.
Yeah. You know, I just realized the title is Doing What's Right. So just through the pure title itself, it's already virtue signaling and implying that he is doing the right thing.
He's not asking for forgiveness. He's telling people he's right. He's righteous. He's not saying, this is what I did. I fucked up. I feel terrible. It's against my values. I did this thing to this person. He's not actually admitted what he's done, which you have to in an apology. He's not admitted what he's done and said why it's wrong. He's making a statement that says, I'm doing what is right. So I am right. This is righteous. At least that's what he's trying to do. But the fact that he had to turn off the like bar in the comments tells you how many people fell for that horse shit.
Those friendships in the beauty world. Yes, I 100% have. But in reality, I have a lot of amazing real people behind the scenes. And I'm forever grateful for those people who always remind me of who I am. Because lately, I definitely was slipping. Now, what me and Shane accomplished together, business-wise, I hope that it inspires anyone out there that wants to start a business, that is an entrepreneur, or who is afraid to get off their feet. Because remember, I used to be homeless and work at the mall.
He's a victim.
I really just said, you know what? I want to create my own.
So just very, very quickly, what he's let us know is that he's a good person. He's a giving person. Don't look at the crime that I've committed. Look at the good that we could do. Followed very quickly in a club sandwich of, I'm a victim. Terrible things have happened to me. Please feel sorry for me. There is narcissism, there's psychopathy here, but I really feel like that narcissism and psychopathy is got plenty of borderline going with it, because he doesn't just want you to fear him. He doesn't just want you to love him. He wants you to pity him as well. He wants to be a victim. I mean, you mentioned victim mentality earlier, out of context, which seems strange. Now I understand why. He wants actually to come out of this as a victim who's pitied by people. This is a sick human being.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Vision, and that's what I did. And he has always believed in me. All right, now, no matter what narrative anyone tries to spin of me, I am so fucking proud to own an inclusive makeup company. Since I opened my doors in 2014, I have created products for everyone. Any product, shade, or formula I've created has worked for any race, gender, and most importantly, I want you guys to remember that all beauty matters. And from the very first ad of my company, I have always shown people of color and anyone, no matter what size your body are or what gender you are accepted in Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I know.
Sorry, Jeffree Star Cosmetics is what Nazis was it?
Lipstick Nazi was his first makeup brand ever and didn't work out for some odd reason.
Okay.
And now he just
hashtag I'm definitely not racist. That's what he's letting us know. I mean, again, you've got this effort to virtue signal and to evoke an emotional response as being a priority over talking about the facts. And he's letting you know that he became very narcissistic and grandiose there for a second. As much as you may want to spin a narrative, look at the facts of what a shitty human being I am. What I've actually done is built. And then he tells you how big his business really is and how awesome it is.
Gets better.
Oh.
People try to deter from my message, and sometimes I've deterred it myself through negativity and drama, but that won't be happening anymore. I will always use my platform and my voice for good. Now, I remember when brands were making 10 concealers and 15 foundation shades, and they thought that that was correct. I remember speaking up very loudly to my peers and other people in this industry saying that it was wrong, and I got a lot of shit for it, but I always stood up for what's right, and I always will. When huge corporations have stolen from small brands, I was the first one to speak up very loudly. Now, sometimes it can be misconstrued for drama or tea or being sarcastic, but the message was always that no, you have to do right in this industry. And that's what I'll always stand by. Now, I just want to say thank you to everyone out there who has been supporting me, DMing me, messaging me, and just showing so much love. I know that sometimes it's not popular to be a fan of me, to be my friend, but it has been so much for all the ride or dies and the millions of people who have just been waiting for me to come back. Just know that it has been very important to actually self-reflect and not just grab my phone and say whatever I'm feeling in that moment. This has been me silent for a reason. I've been really, really working on myself. And I definitely was distracted. There's also been a lot of things going on in my personal life, which will never be excuses, and I'm not going to talk about them today. But just know that we're all human beings and we're all going through a lot. What is next? You guys know, Jeffree Star Cosmetics will never be slowing down, and I'm so excited for everything that is coming for the rest of 2020. I know that the makeup world is changing, the beauty community is shifting, and COVID has transformed our entire world. But what's coming next is one of my most exciting projects ever, and I can't wait. August is going to be very exciting. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening to my words. And thank you for allowing me to have time to articulate my thoughts and not just upload a video out of emotions. I'll be back very soon with new videos, new makeup tutorials, and of course, new products. So thank you guys so much for watching this, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye, guys.
Where's the wheel? Where's the fucking wheelbarrow for this guy's balls? Where does he get the fucking balls to tag that in there at the end? Okay, so when people apply for probation and they want to leave prison and they want to appeal and say to a jury like I'm better and I've self-reflected and this is what I've done, and they would be assigned a probation officer to get out, they make statements like this. This would not pass. This would not fucking pass. There's no way. There's no way that you would see that as an authentic apology. There's no way that you would see that as authentic self-reflection. There's nothing there but gaslighting, flim-flam, reaction-seeking communication, victim blaming, blame shifting, and a lot of horse shit. I mean, that's not an apology. If anything, if you had been victimized by this guy, that would be a next level of attack, because the apology is layered under layers of concretized bullshit, hard bullshit, topped off with, by the way, I'm wonderful and I'm going to have a great year and let's focus on the big things and not this stupid drama. Wow. Thanks for, relegating my heartache, the fact that you attacked me for months and drove me to the brink of suicide, to like an afterthought, some situation, some drama. This is a very, very sick, very, very nasty individual. I would add that he's probably a sadist as well, probably enjoying this.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I've caught a lot of things that I didn't see the first time around. Seeing this again, I didn't know that. So you're saying when prisoners are released, they have to give a formal apology just to see?
No,
if...
they can appeal. They can say, okay, so in the UK and I think in some states in America, once you've done half of your custodial sentence, they start talking about day release, going home at weekends with a tag on, or maybe even full probation. Okay. You'd just be assigned an officer. You'd be stuck in a halfway house. It's shitty, but you're not in prison anymore. Yeah. And so you would actually, under certain circumstances, you'd be asked to make a statement, which would be,
really? Okay.
And it would be, I fucking worked in the library, I volunteered, I helped other prisoners to read, I really have taken time out to reflect on my behavior, I was a drug addict, I'm so sorry to everybody I hurt. I think if you give me the chance, I'd be okay.
So you would have like formal judges that would
they're
analyze
not,
it?
they're,
like...
they're not judges. I was 22, so I'm sorry, it's 20 years ago. They're not judges, and it's not a court, but it is in England, it is called a hearing. So it's not a court setting. There's no jury, but you'd be speaking to four people. You might be prison officials, that obviously the person's solicitor, their lawyer would be there. And they're the people who make a decision and say, okay, we think this person has learned the lesson. They would be safe in the community or not. That's what this ended up. He made himself sound like a criminal. If anything, he sounds like he's been in prison and done this before. Right. That's how it was. The beginning, the middle, and the end sounds like a statement saying, please give me probation and let me out. That's how it sounded to me anyway, but that wouldn't pass. Yeah.
So you think that if he was put in that situation, he would not pass.
He would be rejected. He'd be rejected. They would say we advise a continuance of the custodial sentence and a rejection of the appeal to probation. 100%. They would just go, that's not a fucking apology. That's not I couldn't see an apology in 10 and a half minutes of this guy talking. Mm-hmm. Acknowledge what you did truly and fully. Acknowledge why it was wrong. And maybe even try and then at that point, you could say why you did it. He came out the gate with why he did wrong. This is my justification for doing. Did I get caught? Yes, I got caught up in the bullshit and the drama and the tea. And it's all about don't look at what I actually did. Because if we look at what I actually did, which I don't even fully understand at this point, but I know from what you've said, what they're saying in the comments and his actions, it must be something pretty bad. And he must be caught. He's acting like he's been caught red-handed. Mm-hmm. And he's just trying to desperately flim-flam his way out of taking any kind of responsibility.
Yeah. What I was saying is like, it's 10 minutes. And most apology videos are even longer that say even less. Mm. But, for 10 minutes, he couldn't go 10 minutes without mentioning his own cosmetic brand. Incredible. And it was a real plug. Like if you actually just took the last 2 minutes there and put it on any video, it just would sound like a commercial without any type of like other emotional context behind that.
Which is, I mean, imagine I cheated on my girlfriend. She actually caught me cheating and I go into an apology and I'm like, I'm really sorry. I'll never do this again. And by the way, I hit like 10 reps in the gym today. I've been training really hard and I made some good money this week. I mean, what are we talking about?
We're mirroring the same commentary. In my reaction video, I said, next time I apologize, I'm going to mention my next album that's going to hit hard. I'm going to write it about you and how much you hurt me.
Right.
You know,
because of this situation between us, you know, I've been upset because I cheated on you and you made me feel guilty. So I was training really hard in the gym, and let's not talk about the fact that you're in pain. Let's talk about how awesome I am. That's the narcissism. The fact that he doesn't care about the pain he's inflicting. That's the psychopathy. The strong desire to control other people's emotional responses and to evoke emotional responses in people. There's the malignant borderline element there.
Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of people are like, why are we talking about Jeffree Star? Why are we doing drama stuff on this channel? I only chose this in my own the reaction video that I made, and I wanted to show Richard just because this is quintessential, right down your alley in terms of what you do. I mean, in terms of like basically covering this type of stuff for so many years of your life and then seeing almost visual evidence of it. Do you have any?
This would be a fine example if people said to me like, this original video and then this reaction video, when people say to me, how do I know if my wife's apology is sincere? How do I know if I can use this? I can say, okay, here's how you deconstruct whether what you're listening to is an apology. In my own life, with my own experiences with it, in childhood, I've always said I would take an apology from the people, but they would have to admit with no direction from me whatsoever exactly what they did to the full, and they never would. If you don't do that, if you don't actually acknowledge what you've done, is it an apology? It is not. And this absolutely is relevant to this channel and to what I do, because how are people going to know where to get their boundaries from? How are they going to know what's right, what's wrong? Because that's a powerful personality. I'm not sat here saying the man's stupid. He's not stupid. He's not weak. That's a powerful personality. I'm sure he's tricked many people in his life, and I know full well he's going to trick many people in his future. But for the few people who follow us, maybe you won't get caught out by this kind of horse shit.
Yeah, and I think we live in a time now where so much of this is being unearthed. Obviously, cancel culture has its limits. I mean, I'm not completely for it at all, but so many people are getting unearthed in a lot of ways. For example, another situation that parallels this is the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, where you're now seeing auditory, visual evidence of these behaviors in action. Before, I'm sure, if you're part of this channel watching right now, you found Richard for one reason. You found him because he covers this stuff. You might have found me through a similar notion as well. And it's really, let's just say, eye-opening, very enlightening to see actual recorded evidence of these strategies being played out. And I think here it's just textbook. Like you've covered these things with actual academic names associated with each strategy, Yeah.
I mean, it can, it's the type of thing that it's not, apart from me saying on the soul level, I think the guy's a creep. Apart from that one moment, everything I can give people references for and all the rest of it. And you need to know, like people need to know when they're being lied to. They need to know when somebody's bullshitting them, especially when they have a powerful personality like that. This is a guy who would hold threat over people.
He does it like overtly.
Does he?
Yeah, the James Charles thing. He basically held a threat, never actually released the threat, the evidence of what James Charles did.
Okay.
Continuously held it for a year. And right when he was about to release it, he released another video just saying, you know what? I need to do what's right. I'm not releasing it. Right, like the day before he was like, I'm going to release it tomorrow. And then last minute, he doesn't do it.
So he gets all of the ability to besmirch somebody's reputation without actually having to have the responsibility of following through on what he says that he has, which is probably nothing. He probably has nothing at all. Yeah, I mean, you can tell this guy's a bully. If we want to use simple language, this is a very bullying guy, and he'll use negative consequences. So what you've said there with James Charles, that'll be the tip of the iceberg of what he's done in his life in terms of bullying people. Probably a dude who threatens you with lawyers. He'll probably threaten you with violence. He'll probably I know people will come around your house and fucking snap your legs for you. This is a threatening, bullying guy who really needs submission and fear from people. That's a really nasty individual. That's a really nasty individual.
Yeah, and the reason why he's not dumb is because he fooled practically the entire internet, including me. When he said this thing about James Charles, he utilized the narrative of cancel culture, guilty before innocent. He said it, therefore it's true, and he kind of read the social media culture at the time, which was the beginning of that whole canceling movement, which was at any allegation, believe anybody who is a victim or, you know, whatever.
Right.
And then from there, his channel grew fat during that time.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, these are, in that regard, these are dangerous times. I can see why because you're more tuned into this, I could see why you're more nervous about this kind of thing, like cancel culture as being, I don't see it. So I don't know how quickly these things can escalate. But the thing that he's done is a standard thing for psychopaths to do, because psychopaths are losers. They're not apex predators. They end up in prison. Our view of what a psychopath is in the psychiatric literature is reverse engineered from American prisoners. So whenever we're talking about what's the psychopathic profile, it's the bog standard American prisoner. These ideas were developed in the 60s and 70s. The bog standard American prisoner is not Hannibal Lecter. They're not serial killers. The bog standard American prisoner will be a drug addict or an alcoholic who maybe shot some people whilst he was high, or, you know, he's a fuck up. They're self-destructive. This guy is self-destructive. So the very weapon he used to attack somebody earlier, now it's come back to his door, and it could be the thing that gets rid of him. So he's smart, but not, he's like a typical psychopath, not as smart as he thinks he is. And the people he's attacking are not as dumb as he thinks he is. The narcissism that you're seeing here, this is classical grandiose narcissism. It's a real piece of work, a real fucking piece of work.
The layers and layers with the drama in the makeup community, obviously, at face value, it's just shallow, superficial stuff. But as a piece of psychological analysis, it's really interesting because the lead influencers within this, you have the other woman, Tati. She was also one of the main instigators of the whole drama thing against the 19-year-old. She's not really getting much like backlash, really. No one's really reacting to her apology, which also I feel from when I watch it, there's some dishonesty there too. Plus, Shane Dawson has an apology video too, and people are really, really angry about that as well. So a lot of these, let's just say, mainstream YouTubers, they're all simultaneously kind of being unearthed at the moment, and it's quite revealing, a lot of this stuff.
Well, you know more about it than I do. Is there money in YouTube makeup?
Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Hey guys, is the makeup community not the biggest money spitting niche of all YouTube? I genuinely
it's not video games. It's makeup.
I would say video games as the male equivalent. The female equivalent is makeup. Okay. So I think those two basically control most of the revenue that comes into YouTube. The makeup niche is so entirely profitable, which is why he decided to promote his new palette that's supposed to be coming out this next month, August. He says it in there.
So has he got adverts activated on this video that's got nearly 12 million views?
Let me check here.
The reason why I'm asking about money and adverts right now is because as codependents in the dyad between a narcissistic abuser and a codependent, we tend to overlook the power dynamic. We tend to overlook the control of what's going on. So if there's money at stake, if there's an inheritance at stake, if there's property at stake, this is why they'll be doing what they're doing. Don't miss that. Don't miss the money. Don't miss the gains. Don't miss. Somebody said in the comments before that nobody had mentioned the opulence with which he lives.
Yes, I wanted to show you a little element of that just now. I haven't actually watched most of. I'm turning my ad block on for this one.
Can you own a private jet from makeup tutorials? Why do we not do that?
I'm on it. I'm here. I've said I want to play Robin Hood, and I want to just sneak into this community.
That's what this whole video is for.
Yes,
you're using the Jeffree star,
and then I will release an apology later on too.
Yeah. So you can apologize for this whilst promoting your makeup brand.
Exactly.
Okay. Can I do a makeup brand?
Of course, people would buy your makeup brand overnight, dog.
Spartan Life Coach.
Yes. So here is a video of apparently him, and so Tati Westbrook is the woman makeup influencer that was a part of the drama, and they're really good friends.
Okay.
But here they are going in their private jet.
Do we believe it's rented or do we believe it's his?
There's a lot of videos with him in it. I'll do Jeffree Star house tour. That might be better here. But yeah, you'll see.
Oh. Just these thumbnails let me
Yeah, I know, right? So
he's a multi-millionaire.
And we always have 2 armed guards at all times. Colin has left the vault now that the house is sold, and he is here guarding me and the dogs at all times. But we actually have curtains. Hello, floor-to-ceiling brown crushed velvet curtains. They look so pretty. Oh, hi, guys. Hi, gorgeous. Stay back.
Well,
there are so many rooms.
look at that bathroom. Oh, that's not a bathroom.
It was Mr. Kate's biggest transformation to date. I mean, hello, I have an actual spa in my home now. What? Like, girl, we got everything, skincare, to eucalyptus towels. Like, I cannot believe everything. And by the way, hi, chocolate, bubblegum, everywhere. This is
the first time I've seen this, by the way, guys. I have never seen this before. Wow.
So, okay. Well, that provides a little bit more context. I mean, this is a game within a game within a game. I mean, if it's going to make you millions of dollars, like, yeah, do your apology video. You set up a whole attack. You get the views for the attack. People hate you, but some people stand by you. Then you apologize. And meanwhile, the little I understand of YouTube, I understand online marketing, I understand online business, but I don't really understand monetizing YouTube. But I know that YouTube, you're harvesting. So you get like followers in this end, and then money pops out the other end, and it's a crop. It's a crop that you harvest. So, dude's just building a bigger harvest. Really, this whole thing may just be horse shit for a fucking harvest.
No, he knows this, and now everyone's starting to notice because he goes through something like this every year.
Oh no. Hey, I hope this video doesn't make him more money. Just ignore this horrible fucking individual.
The way that I look at it is that we're stealing his attention. You know what I mean? Like, sure, it might give him a bit more, but dude, what the fuck? I'll take that from you. You know?
You're trying to do some magic on him.
That's just straight up Robin Hood, man. Just like, let me get in there. Like, come on, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, I see the platinum Rolex there as well.
Look at that. Look at this platinum Rolex that he has on.
Just sat there. That won't be less than a $100,000. Okay, so where there's power, where there's money, where there's prestige, that's where you're going to find these predator types. And for some reason, there does seem to be a correlation between like a very psychopathic, narcissistic worldview and then sexual predation. There is a link between the two.
One big detail that I forgot in my video, as well as explaining to you, a huge online e-shop for makeup called Morphe dropped him. This came out the next day.
The apology.
The apology came out next day.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, but okay, 2 things. One, as an entrepreneur, you do have to spin the wheel. You won't hit every time. And if it screws up this year and you have to wait 2 years to reap the rewards, 2 years ain't that long. And certainly not in business. If it was 3 years and it made you an extra 20 million, it wouldn't be that bad. And I do think there is here a genuine self-destructive element to it where he's probably going to overstep his boundaries. He's probably going to do something that's self-destructive, that manifests his own. Because at core, with people with the cluster B personality disorder, their core self-image is really damaged. I'm sure that this individual has suffered a lot in their childhood. I'm sure he had a very, very nasty childhood because he's grown up with very nasty narcissistic defenses. I don't know what he went through, but based on the individual I'm looking at today, it must have been heavy.
Yeah, he definitely went through a lot. I don't know the details, but I've glazed over it. It's pretty heavy stuff, but I'm sure he uses that to defend himself. Oh, he brought up the homeless thing, you know, like in the apology, he was like, I was homeless.
Yes. Okay.
So, yeah. All right. Any closing thoughts on that? How do you feel about taking questions, or how do you feel in general?
Should we take some questions and then
sure,
and
get
then
some
close?
dinner and
Are you hungry?
Can you get me a platinum Rolex for dinner, please?
I would love to have the ability to, Pierre.
We can take the private jet to the restaurant.
Yes, let's do that. That would be lovely.
Awesome. By the way, I have a new palette coming out in September, and it's called Flip. Anyways, does anybody have any questions or any commentary or any analysis or any facts or type of things that we've missed throughout this entire thing? Because yeah, I'm glad you were very, very thorough with that apology. You definitely opened my eyes to a few things that I missed.
Cool. I'm glad that was useful.
Yeah, that shoulder thing, dude, I totally
There's a
missed
lot in
that.
the video. There's a lot of there's a lot of tension being held in his mouth and his shoulders, and in his hands. But when he gets defensive and he's forced to do something he doesn't want to do, that left shoulder's pulling.
You can sense in the posture. It's all controlled. There's no release of control. You know what I mean? The way that it's set and the moment that he slips and he's vulnerable for 2 seconds.
Straight back. Yeah, a lot of repression. You're right. There is a lot of downward movement with the hands. Which would be an indicator of repression. A lot of trite, patronizing posturing from this tool as well.
Oh boy.
Tool is not a psychological term. Doctors.
Could it be possible that he does it because of damage control of his branding and legalities that he might be forced to do it?
Yeah. We shouldn't be naive. I mean, if it benefits him, he's going to do it. Whatever benefits him and makes him more money, I'm sure that will be what he does.
Drama drives sales. So yes, in the makeup community, drama would be equivalent to hyping up a new video game system coming out.
Drama drives sales because you are targeting young girls who like drama.
Yeah, the main demographic that would generally be into it.
What would drive sales in video games? Did you say?
I just like hyping up a video game system in whatever way. I don't know.
Yeah. But boys' minds work a little bit differently, don't they?
Yeah.
Like you get a really big gun in this game.
Yeah, usually something like that. You kill people. You can see him reading off something. Another YouTuber pointed that out. Yeah, you mentioned that. He was looking off a few times.
Bottom left.
Bottom left. You saw that first thing. It was like,
I'm on it, baby.
You want it. Jeffree Star's horrific childhood is no justification for the behavior. I didn't have a perfect childhood. I don't go ahead and pull in this type of behavior.
It's an interesting topic for debate. Perhaps one we'll do another day. Is where is morality in psychology? So in psychology, you're supposed to have moral relativism. You're supposed to just pull morality out of it. But you're 100% right. Where does it begin? Where does it end? Is childhood trauma a justification for awful actions? No. In a civilized society, it isn't. We have hard boundaries and rules to protect the human rights of everybody in the society, regardless of what happened to you in childhood.
Mm-hmm. SF, my brother, do you really think that he deserves this much attention?
It's not deserve, doesn't have anything to do.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same. It's not necessarily that he deserves, but he knows what will get him attention. And I think whatever his demographic is just naturally attuned to what he knows would calculate to get the attention. And he's smart with it. He knows what'll get people to talk about him. So there it is. How long have we known each other? A year or something?
How long have... Oh, us too.
Yes.
Last summer when I swiped you on Grindr.
Yeah, that thing. He's being sarcastic, everybody.
Yes, I didn't swipe him on Grindr.
But that's just a cover.
It's a double bluff.
Double bluff. I know.
We met each other through YouTube.
It's a good one. Would Jeffree Star realize that he did something wrong, but simply doesn't care that he's wrong?
Would he? So to the first part of your question, would he genuinely recognize that it's wrong, and then in his head say that was wrong, but I don't care that it's wrong? No. There would be an element of self-deception here. He wouldn't want to bear the burden of actually going, I did wrong, but I don't care that I did wrong. He would just be like, no, it wasn't wrong. They do little mental backflips. Sorry.
Yeah. Why do you think young girls are drawn to this kind of content? He and other beauty YouTubers mainly because about the drama, not actual makeup. Yes. So would you like to take this on?
Yeah. Younger girls
generally.
I used to work in schools, and I worked predominantly with 14 to 18-year-olds, and you can really see the young leopards, sort of flexing their muscles, and they're trying to figure out how far their claws go, how quickly they can go up a tree. So they're in a power stretching scenario. Boys, it's muscular and physical, and they're hitting each other in the arm and wrestling. And the female equivalent of that is damage control through words, reputation control through posturing, through signaling, and seeking to raise up through the dominance hierarchy. So for men, the great weakness, you could say, would be like power, physical power and dominance. For women, it would be vanity. But ultimately, it's all power that they're trying to get. So learning how to gossip, learning the rules of gossip, it's as intoxicating at that age based on the hormonal profile as thinking continuously and talking continuously about relationships. So gossip, relationships, power. That's the Game of Thrones that young girls are engaged in. Fighting, horseback archery, and all the rest of it. That's the Game of Thrones, the power dynamic that young men are engaged in. Generally, all of the things I'm saying are generalization. So yeah, it's a stimulation. There'll be more of a dopamine release from watching videos that are about drama and gossip and things going on. And you can text your girlfriend and send her the link and be like, what do you think? Wow. And there's just this pleasure in it.
Well, very, very good.
Leopards flexing their claws.
Yes. Yeah, around that the age of adolescence is when whatever demographic, boys, girls, is when they experiment with it and they're trying to figure out more about that, whether it's boys and physical aggression or women or young girls with what do you even call that? Like verbal, psychological aggression?
Psychological aggression. I mean, that's why girls tend to love psychology more than boys do. They're trying to get weapon selection from the study of psychology.
Yeah, we'll take a few more. This is a pretty open-ended question that leads to a whole different discussion, but maybe we're going to attack this another time. Do you think that this is good? Do you think it's good for YouTube? Do you think this is good for YouTube as it protects crimination of influencers involved in underage promiscuity? Basically, should YouTube and social media platforms step in when it involves underage promiscuity or predatory behaviors and stuff of that nature?
Absolutely. The platform has, I'm pretty sure they would have a legal responsibility to do that. I mean, it's if somebody's committing a crime through your platform, they must be under a legal obligation to do something about it. Whether they do or not is another debate. And I don't know what the extent to which does YouTube have a department that deals with this, but is that what this question means, that it protects the criminalization of influencers? Does it protect them?
It's worded. I can't really wrap my head around it.
Okay,
but that's what I got from it.
YouTube shouldn't be protecting them. I hope that it doesn't, and I hope it doesn't normalize anything. And I hope that if these people are guilty, that they're arrested and tried the same as anybody else.
This is a great little topic we should add into our video that we're going to make tomorrow with a little film crew, the psychology of an influencer. I want to learn more about that. It differs for every one of them. We should definitely add that. Yeah.
Didn't Shane Dawson do a thing on this, a series on
Did
this?
he?
Yeah, didn't he? Who was the other influencer that he studied? Jake Paul. Is Jake Paul a psychopath? There's a whole series of
he does the individual famous people, but I think in general it could be a very interesting.
Should we do that tomorrow?
Let's add that into the list. So I guess to wrap it up, what we can do is just ask for other suggestions, because I have a few already on my notepad here, and what I have so far I think is the state of cancel culture in today's world, the leaning towards dystopia with mixes in with social media, how social media influences our world, and then also internet relationships versus real life, whether it be friendships and actual boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife type relationships. If you guys have any other subjects that you guys think would be interesting in a more professionally produced mini short film documentary thing that we're going to be shooting tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, baby.
God damn it. I got to wake up early. 11 in the morning. God damn it. Yeah, so I'll write that down. That was psychology of an influencer. I'm going to feel attacked on this one. Cancel culture leading towards dystopia is really interesting. Yeah, we should definitely. Well, the basic overarching concept is just a reflection of the time that we live in, guys. So it should be interesting, I think. Someone says, do more analysis of people's behaviors. Topic was great. Yeah, it could be a thing. Definitely. Kanye. Maybe.
Just one word. Kanye.
Kanye. All right. 30 videos. Let's see what else is here. I wish I could sleep until 11. Oh, that's not the right one. But
Hey, Potent.
hey, Potent, what's up, man? TikTok. Oh, TikTok could go into the kind of dystopian thing and the.
It's under a security review by the U.S. government. Okay. All right. We'll have a look at that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Google doesn't already do everything that TikTok would do, anyways. But I think it'd be a good.
How men and women can communicate better, and where are the differences in communications, and where are the barriers in that communication?
That's definitely a part of it. Dating is a huge element that we're going to talk about as well, and how the internet can play into.
We're going to fix love, baby.
We're going to fix love. Oh yeah. So to briefly summarize this comment, this video, the apology video, was on trending. It was #1 on trending.
Oh dear.
YouTube is sleeping with Jeffree Star.
Oh dear. So if YouTube is prioritizing money and views and stock value over protecting its predominantly youthful audience, then it would be guilty of a crime.
My theory is that Jeffree Star, being one of the main employees of YouTube, brings in at least 1%, 2-3% of the overall income of YouTube in one way or another. His face is part of YouTube's brand. So that apology video was supposed to be damage control for YouTube as well.
Oh dear me.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, that's dark. Then there is a bigger problem here that needs to be addressed, which is whether platforms are behaving with the right amount of responsibility in protecting the content and in protecting the users.
Yeah, it's basically getting somebody on a billboard, but then if that person on the billboard gets in trouble with like the company, then they need to like do some damage control. I don't know.
We start with love, baby. We start with love.
All right. I think that's good, man.
I think we did good.
All right. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this very special edition of the Tentacle Croissant video podcast with me, the multidimensional anti-flip lord, because it ain't safe to flip no flirt anymore.
It ain't safe. It ain't safe.
And that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And of course,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for all of your time and your attention. These are the most precious resources you have. Please spend them wisely and not on nasty, criminally inclined psychopaths. We've been very grateful to have you here today.
And now reintroduce yourself.
My name is Richard Grannon.
It was lovely seeing you guys. So I'll probably see you sometime soon. All right?
All right.
Stay sane. Okay? Don't fuck up. Be careful.